Hi, this is room 112. It's day 25. We're here. We're going to continue to be here, and everything's okay. Dogs barking, saying, hey, Miss Diane, Mr. Wilson, Mr. Christian, myself are here. We're thinking about you. We miss you, and we hope everything's okay. It's kind of an overcast day, kind of yucky, rainy. And wait, what is that? A new flag is out there. It's the new flag. I just got it. It's an Appeal to Heaven flag, and it's a revolutionary flag, and I was just going to talk to you about it today. So as we see it waving into today, the pine tree is a symbol of freedom in New England. And from the 1600s to 1776, the pine tree was a symbol of freedom. Let's go back in history. And my friend Mr. Corey, who's the social studies dean, said, hey, the dates aren't important, but what is important is the big picture. You're George Washington. Boston's under siege. You're in trouble. You need to get some pressure off. The British are bombarding the Bostonians, the people in Massachusetts, and they need some relief. You gotta get these gunboats out of here. So he says, hey, let's get 6 boats. And let's attack these gunships, let's attack these batteries that are bombing the people of Boston, and let's try to turn the tide here in the war. So they said, okay, we got the 6 ships here, we're gonna harass them, but how will we know they're our ships? How will we communicate to each other that these are colonist ships? And they said, hey, why don't we use the symbol of the pine tree to get them to recognize each other. So that's where they had the white flag, and they had an Appeal to Heaven, and that's what they used. Now, 1776, the Massachusetts Navy also uses this flag because they were successful. The Liberty Tree was a symbol of Boston freedom and resistance against the war, even prior to the Battle of Bunker Hill and prior to the Stamp Act. You see the phrase, an appeal to heaven, and that was a popular phrase prior to the American Revolution, and it's the colonists' trust in God to deliver them from the tyranny of the British. It comes from John Locke, the English philosopher, and it is used actually in Patrick Henry's Give Me Liberty or Give Me Death speech. Not as dramatic, but it was still just as powerful when you say an appeal to heaven. Go back to the times of Thanksgiving. When you think of the pilgrims would often cut down the pine tree and ship it for revenue. They would ship it to Madagascar. And the New England pine trees were highly sought after for British ships. In fact, one of the laws was that you could not cut down a pine tree without the consent of the British people there. So what happened is that the colonists practiced swamp law, and they just cut down the trees anyway. England gets mad. They find the mill owners. Miss Diane, close your ears, but the mill owners get mad, and they cut off the ears, manes, and tails of the British officials. Now, I don't know what the poor horse did, but they cut down, they hurt the horses, and they shipped them out of town. And this was prior to the Boston Tea Party. And this was really one of the first acts of civil disobedience against the British officials and taxes that happened in colonial America. The pine tree, like I said, is a symbol of New England, and in fact, of Massachusetts in particular. If you watch the HBO miniseries about John Adams, you see this flag in all 7 episodes. And if you watch Parks and Recreation, I just saw something on Facebook that they're going to redo that show. And on the Ron Swanson's desk, he has this flag on there. So it's a very historic flag. It's a symbol of freedom prior to the formal American Revolution. Symbol of New England. It's a symbol of they're wanting to be free. And the pine tree is a symbol of New England proper. So I just had the historical flag, and I just wanted to show you up there a little short history lesson about that. So we're here. We're going to continue to be here. I hope everybody's okay. It's kind of a dreary day, and I just wanted to share my love of flags with you guys, sort of like how it was on Big Bang Theory. They always had, Sheldon and Amy always had fun with flags. So this is my kind of a fun with flags lesson for today. A great historic flag, an important historical flag of New England, and a key part of stirring the revolutionary pot of saying, hey, we want to be free, and we're going to appeal to the heaven, to God, to deliver us from tyranny. And we're using some of the local history of the pine tree to as on our flag. Important for George Washington and he used this flag for the pre-Revolutionary War Navy. So that's kind of a segment in there too. But importantly, we just hope that you're well. We're thinking of you, and have a good day. All right, this is Room 112. Bye-bye.